Hey everyone, so the first thing I'm doing as always is priming the eye area. I'm applying this with a brush and I'd advise doing so if you're a little heavy handed because the bristles will soak up some of the product and this will just stop you from over applying primer, which can actually be counterproductive. So we want the shadows to apply nice and smoothly, to appear as vibrantly as possible and to last all day long. So any primer will do, and if you don't have one, some foundation and powder will do the job either. I'm taking this palette from Makeup Revolution today, and I actually picked it up because I like the look of the ABH Subculture palette, but the reviews were terrible, and shade-wise this was comparable. So I'm using it today though, however, to create a more neutral look. I've taken a kind of light shade that I'm using now as a transition shade. It's a few shades darker than my skin tone, and I'm using this to add some definition into the crease of my eye. I think this is easiest to do for a lot of people when the eye is open because the crease line is clearly visible. Now mine's quite prominent, as you can see. I'm just adding it to the area right above my eyelid. If your lids are hooded or your crease perhaps just isn't as prominent, the transition shade and the shades that I'll be adding next are just going to give depth to the eye and give the illusion that there is a crease there. So if your crease area isn't defined, or if you've got hooded lids or just unsure about where your crease is, pat the eye area and you'll feel a bone above the lid area, and that's where to apply those crease shades. So I've just swept the shadow down under the lash line too, but as I've used a fluffy blending brush the colour won't be as intense, so I'm just picking up a smaller dense brush now and reapplying the shadow. Next then I'm taking this rich warm brown eyeshadow, and I'm using this on a fluffy blending brush and I'm adding it into the crease too. So I'm using back and forward sweeping motions to distribute the eyeshadow, and then a mix of circular motions to blend out the edges, and as you can see it's already given a nice bit of warmth and depth to the eye area. Now I like to go in a couple of times and reapply to deepen up the shadow. I've chosen to go for a dark brown smoky eye today, and that's why I'm liberally applying the shadow. For the crease area, I like to use a fluffy blending brush, but for the lid though, I like to use a flat C-shaped brush. Now you could coat the lid area with the fluffy brush, but it just takes longer to cover the area, and because the brush is fluffy, it's not going to apply as much product. The C-shaped brush that I'm using, the bristles on this are much more tightly packed. It's a more dense brush, and it'll just allow you to pack colour onto the lid area. The colour payoff is going to be much more intense, so I'm just tapping the colour onto the lid, bringing it right up to the crease line. We've done the work there, so you don't need to bring the brown up any further, you just need to bring it up to that area. Now I'm taking a small bullet shaped brush and some more of that brown shadow, and I'm applying this down along the lower lash line. So if you're worried about the shadow getting in your eye, tapping is your best friend. Take up some of the shadow on your brush, tap it a few times to get rid of any excess product sitting on top of the bristles, and then using tapping motions to apply the shadow underneath the eye area. It'll just help to ensure that you don't get any fallout into your eyes. Sweeping motions I still do use to blend out the shadow, but only on the edge where I need it. Then I'm taking this deeper brown eyeshadow and I'm using that same C-shaped brush to pack the shadow onto the lid. I'm starting at the lash line and I'm working my way upwards towards the crease area, and this is because I want the shadow to be darkest at the roots of the lashes and then fade out to nothing the closer to the brow bone that we get. Because I stopped that brown at the crease line, I don't want there to be a harsh edge, so I'm placing my brush into the crease of the shadow on the very edge of the lid, fades up into the crease, and then we've no harsh lines. Now I'm taking the small bullet shaped brush again and I'm patting that dark brown, this time along the lower lash line, patting my way from outer to inner corner, and as always making sure to connect the shadow up onto the lid area so that we have a nice rounded appearance to the shadows. Next then I'm taking this black eyeshadow from the palette. I've picked it up once again on my flat C-shaped brush, just on the tips of the bristles, and I'm pushing this into the lash line. So initially I'm keeping this in and tight at the lash line, and the less product that I have on my brush, the higher I'm going to raise it away from the lash line. So that's going to give us that nice gradient effect, and I'm just going back and forward. I'm doing this a couple of times to build up that intensity. And now I'm smudging the black very carefully into the lash line on the outer third of the eye only. Then I'm taking a kohl pencil and I'm placing it into the waterline, closing my eye around the pencil, and I'm drawing back and forward to coat the upper and lower waterline. As always then, I like to take a little bit of black eyeshadow and an angled brush, tap off the excess product, and then I'm pressing the shadow on top of the black kohl pencil to intensify the colour and to also ensure that the pencil lasts all day long. So the powder literally just prevents it from fading. Then I'm taking some of my face powder again. When I'm doing a smoky eye, I like to make sure that under the eye area is really nice and bright and clean. I don't want any fallout lurking under there, so if there's a little, I dust it away, and then I add the powder. And this is a tint to it too, so it's just going to give a little bit of extra coverage. As you can see, I've added some lashes, and now I'm using the Wet n Wild Mega Length Mascara to blend my own lashes in with the false ones, and obviously I'm applying it down onto the lower lash line as well. But then that's it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please let me know, and I will catch you all soon.